ABC Sports presents college football. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, led by versatile Tim Brown, the multi-talented player who is the dominant personality in the Irish offense. Opening the season in Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines, a preseason top 10 team. Michigan offense led by Jamie Morris, the darting little bruiser who may become Michigan's all-time rushing leader. Second meeting for Lou Holtz and Bo Schembechler. The first one was a one-point thriller. This one could be just as exciting as Notre Dame and Michigan open their seasons on ABC Sports College Football. University of Michigan Stadium officially seats 101,701, but there are many more than that gathered today in Ann Arbor. And you might like to know that the Michigan Wolverines have won 676 football games in their 107 seasons, more than any other Division I-A team. But Notre Dame is second in 99 years with 651 wins. The weather looks bright and sunny. Well, it is right now, about 2 o'clock this afternoon. We had a pretty good-sized thunderstorm come through here, but right now it looks like we're going to enjoy almost perfect conditions for this 19th renewal between the Wolverines of Michigan and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Michigan is now making its way into the tunnel. You know the tradition here. The band strikes up, more than 100,000 people scream themselves hoarse, and the Wolverines come bolting out of that tunnel and leap to touch the M banner. So let's watch it, listen, and enjoy it. Schembechler going into his 19th season, the winningest coach ever at Michigan. His Wolverines have never lost a home opener. Bo's coaching totals at Michigan, 80% wins. His career record, 1-6-7-40-4. Now they've just about got them all lined up in the tunnel. They stack them in there together and they come bolting out of it, and here they are. Today is the 73rd consecutive crowd of more than 100,000, which clearly tells you the old game is very healthy at the University of Michigan. This is one of those games when you can literally taste the sweetness of tradition and loyalty. Now, this man sitting next to me, Bob Greasy, quarterbacked the Purdue Boilermakers to 3 successive victories on this field and this stadium by a total of 4 points. That's why he's got that little twitch.
There weren't this many people in the stadium, though, Keith.
What's it like?
I'll tell you what the crowd does, and we didn't have 105,000 screaming against us, but we had quite a few. The first problem is it intimidates the other team. The second problem, obviously, it's tough for the quarterback to hear and get his signals, his checkoffs off. There's no question that this crowd today is a 12th man for the Michigan Wolverines.
Well, our colleague Mike Adamley played with the Northwestern Wildcats in his college days, and he too came here with a little less success than Bob, perhaps. But Mike, from your perspective today, where you are down on the field and remembering those playing days, how do you feel about this big house?
Well, Keith, actually the crowd was an advantage to the visiting team. I thought a psychological edge. It was sort of the me against the world philosophy. We knew the only people we could count on was our coaching staff and us as our teammates, one another, hand in hand. We knew we didn't have to play against the crowd, just against Michigan. I'll tell you one thing that scared me was the Michigan band. Over 100 strong, they scared the heck out of me, though. Keith?
Coach Lou Holtz, whose career reaches back to William and Mary, then North Carolina State, and then Arkansas, then a year with the New York Jets before he went to Arkansas, and now at Notre Dame after a couple of years at Minnesota. So Lou has traveled around, but everywhere he has gone, he has been a quick fix man. He almost stole a game last year from Bo Schembechler. And I know, Bob, as you've done your work getting into this ball game, the one single thing that sticks out is having to prepare an opening game against Holtz is scary.
That's all the defensive coaches for Michigan are talking about. You know, as you mentioned, he's very innovative. He's unpredictable. I don't know if I was playing a card game or playing a football game against him if I would trust him. But he is the director, and he is the guy that's going to make this team, this offensive team for Notre Dame, very productive.
Both teams now have new quarterbacks. Demetrius Brown for Michigan and Terry Andrzak for Notre Dame. But there are two other names that jump out. Tim Brown for the Irish and Jamie Morris for the Wolverines.
Well, the two quarterbacks are new, obviously. They're going to have to produce. As for Notre Dame, they've got Lou Holtz. He is the director. Andrzak has to produce. And the thing he has to do is get the ball to All-American Tim Brown. They don't have a chance of winning without Brown making some big plays. On the other side, Demetrius Brown will not throw the ball as well as Jim Harbaugh did last year for the University of Michigan. But he can run, and he has a strong arm, and he has Jamie Morris. He has a good running game. Jamie Morris is a very good runner, and he has that to fall back on, and it should be very interesting to see how these two quarterbacks develop today.
We talked to the two coaches during the week and very simply asked them how they felt the game might swing, and this is how they answered the question.
When we play the University of Michigan, you aren't going to win it with coaching. You aren't going to win it with X's and O's. You aren't going to win it because you outsmarted somebody. You're going to win it because you block and tackle, and you're tougher and you're more physical.
Mistakes are going to be the key to the opening game.
These teams have played 18 times. Michigan has won 13 of those 18 games, and the last Notre Dame victory was 1982. There is, however, in the sense of history, the fact that Notre Dame seems to play very well here in Ann Arbor. Oh, it's going to be a dandy. Let's get it up. The officials for today's ball game, mixed crew, Central Independent Officials Association. The referee, however, is the Big Tenor, Tom Quinn. Ron Cloggis is the umpire. Head linesman, Mark Baltz. Line judge, Paul Teig. Side judge, Roger Paramore. The field judge, J.W. Sanders. The back judge is Jim Sherlock. Notre Dame won the toss. They have deferred to the second half kickoff. Thus, Michigan will have the ball first on this bright, sunny afternoon.
And Keith, I think the reason they did that in deferring is I think both teams wanted their defense on the field first, because Michigan has a young quarterback, obviously has never started the game, and Demetrius Brown, and Holtz, quarterback Andrzak, is coming into his own this year. And Holtz told me just yesterday that the last 2 weeks, Andrzak has really come into his own. He says it's like we're both on the same page. He has very high hopes for Andrzak.
Now, Mike Adamle.
Keith, as we talked about yesterday, there was some concern over the health of Notre Dame center, starter, and co-captain Chuck Lanza, but apparently all that noise about that sprained shoulder of his was just that noise, something that confused the people in the media. Chuck is fine. I talked to his fathers. I talked to the Notre Dame team doctors. They said he is ready and raring to go, just as the entire Notre Dame team is.
I think Lou was just looking for something to give the guys to write. Kind of divert the attention away a little bit from some of the other factors that he may have been more concerned about.
I told you I wouldn't trust him.
Ted Grottle will kick it off for Notre Dame. He's a fifth-year senior out of Sylvania, Ohio. Not too big, but like so many of these sidewinders, he can dolt it. Michigan uses one of their principal performers to return kicks, Jamie Morris, and why not? He's very good at it. He only stands 5'7", but he puts about 185 pounds on that square frame, and he's a particularly tough little guy to handle. And I don't mean little in the sense that he doesn't play big. He does. Going back with him will be Phil Webb, and Webb, I understand, will start at fullback. Phil is a plucky fellow who has hung in through many injuries and tough times, but he's finally getting a chance to start at fullback and he will also today back up Jamie Morris at tailback. So it's Lou Holtz and Bo Schembechler. It's Michigan and Notre Dame. What else do you want? The kick is short, and it goes to Webb at the 9. As a hole to the 26, maybe the 27. And this is the way Michigan begins the ball game. Elliott, Chester, Vitale, Dames, Huzar up front. Big people. Offensive receivers and backs line up this way, and it's Demetrius Brown at quarterback. First start for him, but the main weapon back there is number 23, Jamie Morris, who, if he has over 1,100 yards this year, 1,132 I think it is, he could become the all-time rusher at Michigan. And I want to tell you, that is something. Double tight end alignment for the Wolverines. Jeff Brown, 80, and Derek Walker, a pair of tight ends as they come out in the I formation. And Brown gives to Morris. See what I mean? He's low, got a low center of gravity. He's very strong, and he just muscled his way for about 3 yards after the first hit by Mike Griffin. Defensively, for Notre Dame, it's Gorman, Griffin, Kuntz, backers of Figaro, Pritchett, Bolcar, and Gordon. The secondary, there are a couple of running backs converted into defenders back there in Smagala and Southall. Streeter, a hitter, and so as well. McMurtry is in now as a wideout, number 1 for Michigan. A flyer from Brockton, Mass. In motion. And Brown to the up man. Penalty flag down as Webb gets close to a first down, but let's look out for that yellow flag.
We have live ball foul. Live ball foul. Defense offside.
So the Irish, trying to anticipate, jumped a little bit, and that should move Michigan on up for its first down as Jamie Morris, the offensive captain, makes the decision and gives it to Tom Quinn, the referee.
Live ball foul. Defense in the zone.
You got to expect that, don't you, Bob, when you've got the opening game jitters a little bit.
So true, Keith. Notre Dame's defense wanted to be on the field first, and they are. It's not surprising what Michigan is doing offensively to take some of the heat off of Demetrius Brown. The first 2 plays have been running plays. That's not a surprise.
All right, number 3 is Trip Wellborn, perhaps the fastest man on the Michigan team, but they stay with the ground game and get a big hole up the middle for Jamie Morris. And Jamie is going to pick up about 5 yards on the carry. The right side of center for Michigan, Dave Chester's 260. John Elliott is 305, a senior and a good one.
And they'll flip-flop their offensive line. By that I mean the right guard and tackle. They list them as strong guard and strong tackle. And the other 2 guards, the tackle, the offensive linemen, are called quick guard and tackle. They're a little bit smaller.
The Irish right now with 5-man front. Brown goes back, gives them a look of a pass for a moment, then hands it off on a little delay. A little draw to Morris, and Jamie is whacked down right about the 46-yard line of Notre Dame. So you look at it, 3rd down and a long 3. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, it was thundering and lightning and raining like the dickens. So the folks sat in their cars and waited, and then when the weather cleared a little bit, in they came. And we expect the crowd to be in excess of 105,000. First pass to the sideline. And intended receiver was McMurtry. Greg turned back to it, and the pass was underthrown, literally, and thrown out of bounds. So they'll punt it away.
Good pressure on the play, Keith. Mike Griffin, the nose tackle, came around and really was not a poorly thrown ball. He just had to release it. When he did, he threw it the only place he could, low and away.
Monty Robbins to punt it, and guess who's going to receive it? Yep, Tim Brown, the senior from Dallas. I've said it publicly for a long time. This may very well be the best football player in America this year because he can do so many things. A little pressure here, but Robbins gets it off. Good hang time on it, and he forces Brown into a fair catch call back at the 10. So they don't get what they were hoping for. That is the Notre Dame faithful. They don't get a return by Brown. He's forced into the fair catch as Spruill, Pearson, Lanza, Freeman, Rader line up. They're all veterans up front. 4 of those people are fifth-year seniors. At quarterback, Terry Andrzejak. Brown, you see, will be in the flanker spot, but he won't be there all day. He'll be in a lot of different positions with Mark Green at tailback. And Dumas opens at the split-end position, but it's Brown, the man that you got to track. Ten-yard line opening possession. You've got to be fair, reasonably conservative, one would think. But not when Lou Holtz is calling the play.
Well, you saw Timmy Brown, after he caught that punt, turn around to the end zone. That's where all the Notre Dame followers are, and he was trying to get them to cheer a little bit to get them fired up.
The fullback runs into the quarterback. They try to set it up there outside to a flanker screen with Tim Brown carrying, and he's going to pick up 5 yards, even though the quarterback and the fullback mumped together. Defensively, you see there are 3 down people. Billy Harris in the nose guard position, a real good one. Thiebert, McIntyre, Milligan, Williams, the 4 backers, and Thiebert Williams will step up on that line very often and give you a 5-man front. Secondary, you see there. Mallory is playing with coming off a broken hand, but he's tough. He's the son of Bill Mallory, the head man for the Indiana Hoosiers. Second down and about 5. They pitch it out to Pernell Taylor, the fullback, and the big senior out of La Fuente, California, is hammered right at the line of scrimmage. Michigan is not a big blitzing team. They don't do a lot of games up front. They don't do a whole lot of stunning. But they run to the ball well.
They're very sound, and the reason they're sound is that man right there, Bo Schembechler. Their defense was number 1 in the Big Ten in total defense, number 2 against the rush, and first against the pass last year in the Big Ten. So they're an outstanding defense, and I think as long as Schembechler is here, they'll always will be.
Third down at about 5, and Dumas is way wide to the bottom of the picture. Brown at the top. Give it off to Brown. Now see what I meant about Tim Brown, who lined up in the tailback position that time, but Michigan stuffed him at the line of scrimmage, and the defensive bunch is jacked up. As Notre Dame now will have to punt it out of there.
Take a look at the center in exchange. Chuck Lanza, number 50 run, right in the middle of your screen, had a problem coming into the ball game, or so we were told. Had a sore right shoulder. It doesn't look as though it bothered him very much.
All right, in to do the punting now for the Irish, Vince Phelan. 20-year-old senior from Racine, Wisconsin. Chris Callaway is the deep man for Michigan. It's a low-line drive. He's got some room to run. And Callaway gets it back down to about the Notre Dame 45. All right. Here's a time when Schembechler teams so often cash it in. The defense contained, forced a low kick. They get very good field position for the second possession.
The last 2 Super Bowl champions collide. The New York Giants take on the Chicago Bears on the season premiere of ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, as I told you when we went away, this is almost perfect game plan for a Bo Schembechler football team. Pin them down, make them kick it out, bring it back. Now here sets Michigan first down at the Notre Dame 40. The team should be settled now. They send out the same group. McMurtry wide, along with Trip Wellborn. And Jamie Morris is the I-back, with Bill Webb in front of him. That's McMurtry coming towards you in motion. On first down, the fullback. Not much. A couple of yards for Webb as Griffin and Kuntz make the hit on him. And I would think Griffin and Kuntz would have to be called the leaders of the defensive legion for the Irish. Numbers 94 and 93.
Tim, Keith, it was interesting what Michigan did that last time. During the timeout, they huddled on the sideline, came right to the ball, did not huddle on the field. We may see some more of that during the ball game.
On second down and 7, it's Webb again. Little trap play. And they pop him through there to about the 37-yard line of Notre Dame. They're going to need close to 2, however, with third down coming up. Bill Webb, who, as I said, a plucky fellow. He's had his fair share of injury problems, but he's hung in. And Bo Schembechler loves him because he's got a great attitude. And it was a pleasure for him, he told me yesterday, to give the young man a chance to start. 3rd and 2 with Allen Jefferson joining the backfield as they go to a wishbone set. And nope, Brown kept it. Brown broke it and picks up a first down inside the Irish 25. Corny Southall ran him down. That's what Demetrius Brown gives to the Michigan attack.
Going to our right side, it's just going to be a fake into the line of scrimmage. Brown with the good speed. Fine play, gets upfield. He knows he wants to get the first down first. You know, it's nice to be able to start the second drive, if you're talking offensively, from the other team's 45-yard line. You can do anything that you like.
Right. From the 24 now, first down for the Wolverines. Jeff Brown, the tight end, just shifted over. And Brown looking to throw. Hit as he throws. Ball's up for grabs. Intercepted. Thrown right into the hands of Cedric Figueroa. And Figueroa running hard. Pounds his way back up the field to the 29-yard line. Stan Smagala, the right corner, blitzed him, and he hit Brown just as he released the ball.
Notre Dame putting a little pressure on the first-time starter, Brown. You see Smagala from the right side. He never saw him because he rolled away from him, and then when he turned around, he didn't have time to see. One of the problems with rolling right or left, you don't see behind you from where you left.
That's right. So the young left-hander gets walloped. And Bo Schembechler said yesterday that probably one of the best things that could happen to Brown was get hit right in the mouth because he's a fighter.
In Columbus, Ohio, it's the season opener for both Ohio State and West Virginia. This is fourth quarter action. Mountaineer quarterback Mike Timko goes back to pass, and he's intercepted by William White. This is White's second interception of the game, and he returns it for a 29-yard touchdown. This is one of the Mountaineers' 8 turnovers for the afternoon. And the final score, Ohio State over West Virginia. The score is 24-3. Now, Keith, back to you.
The Michigan offense now getting some strong conversation. But the Notre Dame defense trotting off the field must have said to the offense, all right, guys, now you got some room, do something. It'll be called the 29-yard line, the line of scrimmage, first down for the Irish. Andrew Zach, the quarterback, gives it to his fullback. Penalty flag goes down. Anthony Johnson is in there at fullback. The sophomore from South Bend. Did I see a flag fly or was it a foul? No flag. Gain on the play, very short, from the 29 out to the 31. Second down and 8. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Ball carried by 22. Johnson.
Interesting that Green has not carried the ball. In fact, Mark is now out as a wide receiver to the bottom of the picture, and that's where he came from, wide receiver before he was a tailback. They give it inside to Anthony Johnson, and Johnson, finding nothing there, takes it outside. That's where he is so valuable. He has that quick burst once he starts looking and scrambling for a place to run.
Well, Notre Dame did that time, Keith. Spread out everybody, put Green on one side and Timmy Brown on the other side, showing pass, 3 wide receivers, and then ran the ball up the middle with Johnson. Holtz has a lot of different formations and a lot of different plays that he runs from them. Some trick plays, some gimmicks. You'll probably see them all here today.
First down Irish, their own 42. This is Green from his tailback position, leaping ahead for about 3.5. Steve Siebert, the outside linebacker on that side, brought him down, a senior from Union Lake, Michigan. Mark Green, 180-pounder, he's a junior out of Riverside, California, and he thought for sure he was going to be a wide receiver at Notre Dame. But then in came Lou Holtz, and he became a tailback. Actually, he does both. Terrell is in there now. Sophomore out of St. Petersburg, Florida, had a wide out. That's Tim Brown in motion. fullback carries it. And Anthony Johnson busted up to about the 47-yard line. They've got to go inside the Michigan 48. Oklahoma at halftime over North Carolina. Doran not playing in that game for Carolina. A big intersectional game a little later. Ohio State a winner today. Looked like it might get to be big, but it wasn't all that big. Boston College coming along to beat Temple. Boston College you'll see next week here on ABC Sports against Southern California. We'll see what Mary Smith and his folks have done with the Trojans since we saw them last Monday night. Andrzejczyk rolls it out, got to Moon, cuts it back. Perry's not afraid to take a lick. He puts his head down and goes on down to the Michigan 46-yard line and gets a first down.
Let's take a look defensively at what the Michigan Wolverines are looking at. Andrzejczyk is rolling out. Kind of gives up a little early on this because Brown had hooked into the middle of the field and had some room. But Andrzejczyk, seeing that first down marker, gets up and makes a big first down for the Fighting Irish. But the one thing that Holt said was, in the last couple of weeks, this man has become a man. He says he's not compounding somebody else's mistake by making one of his own.
Alonzo Jefferson is in now at a wideout. They pitch the ball back to Pernell Taylor in at the fullback position. And Taylor's another guy that'll go to tailback or fullback. And when you see Brown moving around with all of those different sets, you might see two fullbacks in the ball game at the same time. Braxton Banks is another one that'll get some playing time today. Aaron Robb out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He's in there now. 5 wide receivers out there right now. 5 people who can effectively be called wide receivers. Andrzejczyk takes the pitch, keeps it, dumps it off to the tight end, Andy Heck. Heck's got a big play inside the 30 before his legs are taken from under him by Eric Campbell. Andy Heck, 6'6", 250, a junior out of Annandale, Virginia. Big target.
It's going to be a fake pitch to the left. Watch to the top right and top left of your screen. The tight end will come across. The play action to the left side fools the linebackers, and Heck, the big tight end, ought to learn to protect himself a little bit better. Nice play. Good call by Lou Holtz.
And it's a first down right now at the 27-yard line of Michigan. Heck is out. Frank Jacobs is in there right now. Penalty flag as Andrzejczyk hands it off to Mark Green. Notre Dame makes a mistake. It'll cost them 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15 after the call. And Heck coming back in, bringing the play from Lou Holtz. Sometimes he'll wigwag it out. Most of the time, he'll shuttle it. Georgia got off to a running start today. And Syracuse handling Rutgers all right. While Pittsburgh winning big against NC State. And Gordy Lockbaum and company having a big day against Army, while William and Mary is whacking Navy around some. Braxton Banks is now in at fullback for Notre Dame. Andrzejczyk gives it to him. And he pounds his way back inside the 30 to the 29, picks up about 4 yards on that carry. One of the things about Terry Andrzejczyk that I'm seeing here, Bob, is he's given him a little juke almost on every play. Is a little misdirection kind of built into his movement. Well,
Lou Holtz in the first 2 series has really called a lot of different formation, a lot of different plays to really try and confuse and keep Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, off balance. 6 different men have carried the ball so far for Notre Dame.
5-man front right now for Michigan. Linebackers in a up position. 3 down linemen. Andrzejczyk, a little flip pass out to Green. Green gets a block on the corner and almost popped that one for a big gain. Number 76 came out there. Tom Reeder, the big senior from Santa Maria, California, was out there and gave him a nice block. Thiebert finally got enough of Green to bring him down just inside the 24-yard line. So it's 3rd down and about 6 now for the Irish. Back comes the tight end, Jacobs, number 85, with a message. And leaving the game is Pat Terrell. Tim Brown, let's see where he lines up now. He's at the bottom of the picture. On 3rd down and 6. Andrzak hit, knocked down. Number 60, Mark Messner, who had 14 tackles last year in the game at South Bend. Big Mark Messner, 6'3", 250 senior, Heartland, Michigan, came blasting through, and he got him.
Messner is one of the top defensive linemen in the Big Ten, and it's no surprise that on a big play down, the big play guy comes through and makes the hit for the loss.
Ted Grottle, who is from Sylvania, Ohio, just a short ways down the road from the stadium. 44-yard field goal try. Got it. It wasn't all that authoritative, but it had enough carry and crept over by a couple of yards. At 2:39 to go in the first quarter, 3-0 Notre Dame.
Let's go back and take a look at that last play by Messner. He's going to slant to the inside right here. 3rd and short yardage, slants to the inside. The fullback blocks him. A great play to dive over and make the stop on Andrzak. It's a big play for Michigan, Keith, because he stopped the drive, but it's very important for Notre Dame that they got on the scoreboard first with that field goal.
Grottle now will kick it off. Jamie Morris and Phil Webb. The running backs are deep. You will always see security back there for Schembechler teams, people who can handle the ball. This one goes to Morris at the 5. Wedge in front of him, cuts it out to the left, and comes to the 28-yard line. So at 2:32 to play in the first quarter, Michigan will start from the 28. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WRTV, Indianapolis.
Notre Dame came down, had a drive going. Mark Messner made a big play to deck the Notre Dame quarterback. The Irish, after a 5-yard penalty for motion, had to settle for the 44-yard field goal.
There you saw the drive, 11 plays, and it was a drive that started with the interception down in their own territory.
Michigan again comes out double tight end alignment with Morris deep. Morris has it. Fumbles the football. Rolling around, white shirts after it. Notre Dame's got it. Jamie had his arms. He was knocked off balance. The arm went swinging away from the body. The ball went with it. And a ball came loose, and the Irish come up with a turnover. Michigan's second turnover in the ball game. Demetrius Brown blitzed through an interception a moment ago. Now Morris has turned it over.
Remember the interview we did a little bit before the game with Bo Schembechler. He said mistakes are going to be a key. This time, the mistake comes from a veteran ball player. He thought maybe Demetrius Brown, the first-time starter, would be causing it. But I think what's happening here is the home team may be a little bit too nervous because they're playing in front of all their fans. They're the home team. They're the ones that are maybe supposed to win, ranked higher in the polls. And Holtz has his team playing on an even keel. Right now, they have the upper hand.
Well, it's also one of those things, you know, where Jamie might have felt he's got to take a chance to make something happen. First down, Andrzak drops deep. Shoots it to the sidelines, and it is caught by Dumas. And Ray Dumas, the junior out of St. Louis, Missouri, is knocked out of bounds at the 10 of Michigan. Andrzak had some zip on the ball.
He certainly did. It's a sprint out to buy more time. You don't have to read any coverages here. Brown goes deep. The coverage goes with him. Andrzak with a good read and a nice completion.
And now the Irish leading 3-0 with a first down at the 10.
First down pass, Keith. I like it. After a turnover, go for a big play.
Brown is in the backfield. Has the ball hit behind the line of scrimmage. We'll get back to about the line of scrimmage, and it was Big John Herman who made that hit for Michigan, the junior out of Sussex, Wisconsin. And a Notre Dame man getting the play there, coming back into the game. That's the tight ends who are the messengers today in the main. It'll be second down and goal, and there is a loss on the play of about a yard after they spot the ball.
One of the things that the Michigan defense will be doing all day long is finding where Timmy Brown is lining up. We have to locate him and then adjust our coverages to where he is lining up.
He's wide, top of the picture, along with Ward. Andrzak back to pass. Brown a little delay. He's in the end zone. He's wide open. And Andrzak didn't see him. Now he forces one in there, and he makes the catch anyway. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Lou Holtz's magic. Turnover, he throws on the first play, doesn't get anything the second time, and now Brown is open right here. He's going to raise his hands. Andrzak is not ready. He keeps moving and gets himself open. Obviously, Arnold, number 10, knows where it's going. An outstanding catch against double coverage.
Waddle, the extra point is good. Andrzak of the ball game, 5 for 5, 64 yards, a touchdown, a great play by Tim Brown, and the Irish lead it 10-0.
And take another look at that touchdown, Timmy Brown. Timmy's right here. Now the defensive back is going to go out this way and blow the coverage. Brown will be open right in here, but that's not where he's going to catch it. As you see, the defensive back, Brown, is open. Nobody is deep. He says, okay, you can't find me because the offensive linemen are blocking your view. I'll move around a little bit. Andrzak throws it the only place that he has to take a chance on catching the ball, and Brown makes the play. Take a look at it. Now, Andrzak can't see him. Those linemen, offensive and defensive, he can't see him. Now he keeps moving. Andrzak says, I'm going to keep looking for you. I've got a lot of confidence that you can catch this ball. Make me look good. Outstanding play.
And Notre Dame grabs a big early advantage, 10-0, 1:26 to go. First quarter, Grottle to kick it off with Morris and Webb deep for Michigan. 2 turnovers by the Wolverines in the first quarter. 5-yard line, Jamie Morris. Off his feet at the 22. Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, we talked about the poise of Terry Andrzak. He's been very poised. The great catch by Timmy Brown, but I'll tell you, the guys who are doing a heck of a job are the Notre Dame offensive linemen. You know, Dean Brown and Chuck Lanza and Brian Farrell. They have been terrific. They have given Terry a lot of time to throw the football, and they've given Notre Dame running backs a chance to run the football down that tough Michigan defense throat. Keith?
Sun is out bright now. It's going to heat up down at the bottom of the big bowl. Ball is at closer to the 22 hash mark than the 23-yard line. Same alignment that we have seen for Michigan. And Demetrius Brown gives it to Jamie Morris, and Morris cuts it back into the middle. Told you he was only 5'7", but he carries about 185 pounds. And Mike Griffin had a hold of him, 6'4", 245. You would think that would be a big mismatch, but it's not so. I'm telling you, Morris is a tough runner.
Strange to have such a small back, such as Morris, with a huge offensive line. And when he gets behind that offensive line, looking at it defensively, you can't see him. And he has such great cutback ability and such good vision that he may explode through a gap before the defensive linebacker ever sees him.
John Colasar and Trip Welburn, the wide people. That's Welburn going in motion. And Brown back to throw it. Gets it off down the middle and threw it too low. The pass intended for Jeff Brown, the tight end. Brown was available to him. He just seemed to rush his pass a little bit. And that might be the memory of that last time that caused him to throw it too quickly.
No question that the interception that he threw before, even though it wasn't his fault because he was hit as he was throwing it, he couldn't see on the either side of the tight end Brown. That is why he was unsure of throwing it. He thought there may be a linebacker that was hidden that may cut in front of it.
Callaway and McMurtry, the wide people now for Michigan. It's third down and about 5. To the sideline, almost picked off, almost stolen by George Streeter, the strong safety, who had read Brown and had beat it over that way, and he almost picked it off.
Demetrius Brown is feeling a little pressure here. The running game is not working. It's third down and you're throwing from your own end. He just does not get enough on this ball. Streeter could have picked it off. Brown has a strong, strong arm, just did not get it out far enough.
Now they need a big one from Monty Robbins as he stands back inside his 15. Tim Brown is the deep man for the Irish back at his 30. Pat Eilers is the short man up front. Robbins' kick is a good one. Got good spin on it. Brown right at the 30. And here he goes. Back to the 35. 43-yard punt and a 5-yard return for Tim Brown. Well, let's see. Monday night. What are you going to be doing Monday night? Get in front of that box at 8:30 for the pregame show and the matchup between the Giants and the Bears. I mean, if you're going to watch a football game, that's about as good as you're going to get, isn't it?
That may be the game of the year. Obviously, it's the first game of the season, and there are going to be other big ones, but the last two Super Bowl champions are playing on the opening night of the season. You can watch it right here.
Mark Green, the tailback. Braxton Banks, the fullback. Brown is flanked to the bottom of the picture. Fullback has it. Banks straight ahead, 3 yards. Running down the final seconds of the first quarter of play. 2 Michigan turnovers leading to 10 Notre Dame points. They'll let the clock run out. So we've played one in this 19th meeting between the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Michigan Wolverines. Notre Dame's up right now, 10-0. On the road, again in front of 105,000 people, can you have momentum? Lou Holtz says.
Don't tell me about momentum. Momentum's a mental state of mind, and you can't let the crowd cause that momentum to go one way or another unless you allow it to happen mentally.
All right, does he have him disciplined that well? We'll see.
I tell you, he is a motivator. He is an entertainer. If you've ever had the opportunity to hear him speak, he is a magician, and he knows how to make somebody or convince a quarterback that he is an outstanding player, even if he isn't. And he's got these players at Notre Dame believing that they can play here today.
2nd down and 7. Brown is out of the ball game right now, and Aaron Robb is in there, and it's Robb in motion. Andrzak pitches to Mark Green. He cuts it back, finds a hole, and goes to midfield, and a first down for the Irish before Eric Campbell and Alan Bishop can bring him down. Quick feet, good balance, and Green turns in a big play.
As you mentioned, he was a wide receiver. That's why this offense is so multiple, because they can go to several different formations without substituting.
From midfield, first down Irish. Leading 10-0, option with Andrzak keeping. And we'll have a yard. Steve Thiebert refused to let him around the corner. The numbers on the first quarter are these.
The key things to note there, the passing yardage for Michigan is 0, and the turnovers, of course, the 2 turnovers, the 1 interception, the 1 fumble, both leading to scores for the Irish.
And right now, Notre Dame is just marching the ball down the field against the Michigan defensive unit. Brown is back in the lineup, and he's down at the bottom of the picture. Andrzak rolls that way, little shovel pass inside, and they're lucky to keep it. Braxton Banks, it was a little quick pitch, I think came before Banks expected it. He was in traffic because there was penetration by the Michigan defenders, and they're fortunate to keep the ball.
Well, it's a safe play, Keith, because even if he drops it, it's not a fumble, it's a pass. It's a forward pass, but another one of the tricks, you know, Holtz is amazing, and I don't want to belabor the point, but he keeps moving it around, goes to the outside, goes to the run. You do the option just a little bit, but he'll get you thinking.
So far, 7 Notre Dame players have lined up at wide receiver.
The Notre Dame Irish fight with savage speed. Angelo Bertelli fires a perfect pass to Fred Early. 45 yards, a Notre Dame score. Bertelli again. Notre Dame touchdown again. And the final is a big 35 for Notre Dame. For Michigan, only 12.
Top-ranked Oklahoma hosting North Carolina's Tar Heels. They've moved into the third quarter. The star for Oklahoma, Jamel Holloway. This is his second touchdown of 4 yards. He's also put him in from 2 and 1 yard after 5 fumbles last week. 21-0. Back to Keith.
Goodyear Blimp America out of Houston, Texas. Captain Aaron Jenkins from Spring up there with our Gyrocam 360 camera. Old friend of ours, Billy Sullivan. I wonder who Sully's rooting for. Who would you guess, huh? All right. Third down for the Irish and long. 3rd and 8 from the Michigan 48. And Andrzejak deep drop. For Dumas. Can't get it to him. And it'll be a 4th down as Bailey Harris, number 56, finally fought his way through the crowd and was in the face of Andrzejak. So the Irish now will have to punt it. Vince Phelan comes in. First kick today was a 38-yarder. And going deep will be Chris Callaway, a sophomore wide receiver for Michigan. 10 Wolverines up now. A couple of them peel out of there, leaving 8 men up on the rush front. No pressure for Phelan. Not a particularly good kick. Let's see about the bounce. It takes a high bounce and then rolls on down around the 15-yard line. And that's where Michigan will have the ball. And let's check in with Mike Adamle.
Well, Lou Holtz is not one for belly aching, but he did think that his team was at a distinct disadvantage coming into Michigan and having to play on AstroTurf. Last year, the Irish played on it twice and lost both times to Penn State and Alabama. They felt, or Michigan State and Alabama, they practiced on it once at Notre Dame on their practice field. 4 guys got injured ankles, and they said enough of that. He thinks it's a big reason why Big Ten teams losing the Rose Bowl. I don't know what he's griping about now because they're up 10-0.
I'll save you a letter, Mike. That's all pro turf.
In fact, the last time Notre Dame won on artificial turf was in the Meadowlands in 1984 against Navy.
From the 15 now, the Wolverines. No yardage passing so far. It is the worst field position they've had. They had 1 first down series start on the Notre Dame 45 and couldn't cash it in. Jamie Morris, darting, twisting, finds his way to the 20, pick up 5 yards. Ned Bolcar, a junior out of Phillipsburg, New Jersey, made the hit on him. Bolcar, a celebrated high school player, featured in national publications and all that, and has just now found his way into the starting lineup for Notre Dame in his junior year.
He has been a standout special teams player the last 2 years for Notre Dame, but this is the first opportunity for him to play extensively.
Actually marked a little bit short of the 20, so you would be more fair in calling it 2nd down and about 6. Morris again. And Graney is up about a yard short of his first down.
Take a look at 76 here. Dames on the right side of your screen. 76 will pull and block to the outside. Now that's what you call a trap block. A lineman pulling behind the line of scrimmage and blocking out on a defensive man. And Morris reads it very well, gets a little bit of yardage on his own. You know, Keith, the thing that Michigan has to do is just settle down and say, we're 10 points down. It's a long game. It's like losing the first set in tennis. So what? We got 4 more to play.
The spot gave him his first down right on the 25, and they continue to run, Jamie. And Morris is up near the inside, across the 29, close to the 30. Darrell Gordon, senior out of Hillside, New Jersey. Frank Stamms, who had been a fullback at Notre Dame, was in there a couple of plays at linebacker and limped off the field. So Lou started moving people around really during this past spring. He moved Stamms from fullback to linebacker. He moves Magala and Southall from Antoine Francisco from running back over to the defensive secondary. Alan Jefferson now joins the backfield to make it a wishbone trio. And the handoff goes to Morris. Gets his helmet in a stack and comes away with a couple of yards, running into Griffin and Kuntz. Now it's going to bring up 3rd and a good chunk. About 4 yards.
Last year in the Big Ten offensively for the Michigan Wolverines, they were ranked number 1 in the Big Ten. 2nd rushing and 2nd passing. but that was with a man named Jim Harbaugh, who was the #1 draft choice of the Chicago Bears. Different offense this year.
Staying with the wishbone, Demetrius Brown back to throw it, gets his pass away, pass is dropped. Chris Callaway had to turn back, look into the sun, losing his footing. If the ball is a yard farther or thrown more to the outside, Callaway makes the catch.
That's a catchable ball, though. What Brown needs right now is for somebody to jump up and make a great play for him to catch his confidence. But you're right, he was looking back into the sun. Michigan's got to turn it over again.
Monty Robbins is in to punt it, and Tim Brown back to receive it, standing near his 25. 10-0, Irish lead it with 11:28 to play in the first half. Some pressure on that one, almost got to him. Firing in was Tom Byrne. Brown has a little trouble handling it and does the smart thing. He was hung out like a piece of laundry on the line trying to get that bouncing ball, so he took it and tucked it away and went right down at the 21. 47-yard punt and no return. This fellow Byrne, who comes in there, listed as a tight end, he at one time was a quarterback. So, again, that's another change in position for a player at Notre Dame. Timeout on the field, 11:19 now to play in the first half.
1987 marks the 100th anniversary of Notre Dame football. Ironically, the first Irish football game was against Michigan on November 23rd, 1887.
Well, Notre Dame folks are happy right now, and we've got a little baptism coming up right here. Ricky Waters is in the backfield, freshman out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, making his first appearance in a football game for Notre Dame. He is a true freshman, 6'3", 180, and comes with a load of press clippings.
Holtz was saying that he's got two true freshmen in the backfield, Waters and Brooks. Waters is in there, number 12, and all of his teammates are kind of slapping him on the hand and saying, let's go, but Holtz thinks that this guy is really going to be good.
Fullback, bouncing outside, Johnson. Anthony Johnson, that's the second time that he's been stopped at the line of scrimmage, point of the snap, and bounced outside and picked up some yardage. He got almost 5 yards. Johnson, a 215-pound sophomore, grew up right there in South Bend. Time call by Tom Quinn, the referee. It's his timeout. Notre Dame called the one previously. They have 2 remaining. Michigan all 3. Also had a recent change in the athletic administration over at Notre Dame with old banking friend Dick Rosenthal, former basketball player for the Irish, having retired from the bank, going over as athletic director, replacing Gene Corrigan.
Nice man. I think he'll do well, too, Keith. We had an opportunity to chat with him a little bit last night.
Good guy. Aaron Robb back in the ball game, number 21, along with Pat Terrell. And here comes Waters, his first carry. He might have to do a little lobbying with the official scorer to get a yard on that carry.
Well, Holtz has played a lot of people already in this game. Several people have carried the ball. 5 different receivers have caught the ball. And that's what he wanted to do, get everybody into the ball game early and move it around.
3rd down and 5 for the Irish. And watch 81 where he goes. There he comes down the bottom of your picture. In motion. That gives him a double wide set, and Andrew Zach goes that way. But he just simply doesn't have time as Mark Messner gets his 2nd solo of the game. He is a tough dude, isn't he?
Messner led this team last year in sacks with 7. Messner, number 60, will be coming into your picture right at the top. Runs around the tackle, runs around the halfback, and then gets a piece of Andrzak and gets the sack.
And Vince Phelan's in to punt on 4th down with Chris Callaway deep, 38 and 33, the 2 previous punts of Phelan. Spins this one out. It's low, though, and that's going to give Callaway some room. Oh, boy, we got a clip. I expected that. We had a clip thrown up at the 40-yard line. And Anthony Mitchell trying to block the Notre Dame man, but the Irish man got his back to him, and Anthony had committed himself and got caught. 46-yard punt, and Wolverines are going to get a hit with a penalty.
On the return, we are flipping on the return.
9 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the first half. The Irish lead it 10-0.
That's a tough penalty. You get a punt, and not a great punt. As you'll see here, the ball was not kicked very well. And then to add a clip on to it from there is just losing 15 yards. That's not what your offense wants to do. To take a look as it's coming down here, he gets the ball and breaks to the right. Now, if you stop it right here, look right here, you're going to see the man hit him from behind. The clip right there, it wasn't a very good clip, and the official is standing right there, too. It's not when you want a clip, it's when you got an official right there.
Actually, Bob, I think they had a choice, because I saw at least two. Michigan with the penalty backed up to their 27, where it is first down. Demetrius Brown, the junior quarterback, 0 for 5 with an interception so far in the ball game. He needs to hook up here with somebody. They give it back to Jamie Morris on a delay, and Morris breaks it out of that draw and fumbles the football again. They're going to call him down or not? No, fumble. Notre Dame ball recovered. Stan Smagala. So second fumble by Jamie Morris, third turnover Michigan.
Let's take a look from the end zone. Morris is going to step to his right as the fullback leads through. It's just straight blocking, and Morris will cut back to his left. The ball will come out late as you see the offensive lineman sitting, a huge hole created by Vitale, 67, and then Morris doing a nice job to get upfield. McMurtry, number 1, trying to throw some blocks downfield. The ball comes out before he hits the ground, and another big break for the Irish. Take a look right there.
Clearly a fumble.
Southall, number 31, stripped it, and you cannot advance a fumble in college, so he should have just fallen on it.
Just over midfield, first down, Notre Dame going for the big play, and they'll get it, at least some of it, as Tony Brooks, the other freshman tailback, is in the lineup, swings out of the backfield, stops in the short zone, and makes the catch. Ball moves close to the 40.
Jamie Morris has fumbled 2 times already here in the first quarter and a half, Keith. That is not his customary statistics for the first half, but you can be sure that he's going to be heard from before this game is out.
Second down, about 1.5 yards. Banks and Brooks in the backfield. Brooks, freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But they give it to the big fullback, and Banks dives in there for his first down. He is not all that big, actually, 6'2", 205, out of Hayward, California, but has a very quick start, very quick first step. They got Big Dean Brown in there now, number 71. He's a sophomore out of Canton, Ohio. Hard to miss him. He weighs 275 pounds.
Well, in fact, the entire second-string offensive line, except for Lanza, the center, is in there, Keith. You've got Lippincott in there, and Rokic is
Ted
there.
Healy.
Yeah, Healy.
Mark Green now back in at tailback. On first down from the Michigan 39, Andrew Zach gives it to Brown on the reverse. Brown got a block to get him out of the backfield, but the Michigan pursuit was good enough to get him at the corner. No gain. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Well, Jack Bicknell and his Golden Eagles of Boston College, who have played impressively now, winning their first 2 games, making their first journey to Los Angeles next Saturday to play the Southern California Trojans. Last Monday night, We saw the Trojans make mistake after mistake after mistake and lose to Michigan State. And they will not find the Eagles of BC an easy opponent either. It'll be an interesting ball game as Andrew Zach rolls it to throw it. Goes underneath with it, and Braxton Banks drops the ball. That picture coming from the Goodyear Blimp America. Wind is quieted down, and it affords an unusual camera platform.
Looking from the end zone, a little sprint out. This is good for protection. Gives the quarterback a little bit more time, better vision. Not a great throw, a little behind him, and when you're out there like that, the ball should be pretty much on target. Still a catchable pass.
It's third down and about 10 with Tony Brooks and Anthony Johnson, the backs. And Tim Brown to the bottom of the picture there, number 81. Notre Dame 1 out of 5 in third down conversions. Terry Andrzak straight back, gets the heat, dumps it off. Pass caught by Tim Brown, out of bounds, incomplete pass. Alan Bishop defending on the play. Tim Brown, 6-footer, but a great leaper.
And he has pretty good speed, too. 4.4 as we take a look at the end of this play. He catches the ball and steps on the line when he comes down, so it's obviously out of bounds. We take a look at Phelan.
Eric Campbell back for Michigan.
Try to hit a knuckleball, try to kill it deep. Eric Campbell, defensive back, is the lone man back there for Michigan. Well, he got some spin on it and knocked it into the end zone. This is why some coaches will look around through the ranks and find what they call a pooch hunter. Guy that can go out there and knuckleball that thing and get it flopping around inside the 10-yard line. But Phelan couldn't do it that time. 6:47 to go, first half. Come back to the attack now. Not a particularly good day for Jamie Morris. He's picked up 63 yards on 10 carries. That part of it's good. But that is underlined, however, by 2 fumbles. From the 20. This is Callaway in motion. Brown to Morris. Look at him weave his way through there. He's a dandy. Picks up about 8 yards on the carry. But Jamie Morris can't do it by himself.
This play has been working very well. The same play from the end zone. Dames is going to come this way and trap, as you'll see a nice hole inside for Morris. Same play, the right side blocks down. Elliott, 72, blocks the inside linebacker, Bolkar. A nice play.
Fullback carries this time. Webb trying for the first down. Looks like he might be spotted just a bit short as Bolkar this time got the first hit. American League Baseball scores. Toronto and Cleveland jumped on Minnesota. Everybody else tonight.
Big series in New York, huh?
Yeah, St. Louis came back to win it last night, and Ron Darling's lost to the Mets because of ligament damage to a thumb. So Davey Johnson's bunch right now struggling. Out of the wishbone, they go to the fullback, and this time Webb has his first down as he takes it all the way out to about the 35-yard line. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. 10-0 Notre Dame.
Well, what Michigan needs right here, Keith, is a long drive. Most of the offensive series in this ball game have been 3, 4, and 5 plays and out, either a turnover or a punt. The thing that Bo Schembechler was afraid of coming in was mistakes. Brown, number 6, has made 1, and his rock that he built this offense around, if you will, is Jamie Morris, has 2 big mistakes so far in the first half.
Morris again. And he'll pick up something. It looked for a moment like what was it? I think it was Fitzgerald maybe over there. I got a piece of him and couldn't hold him. but Smagala got him.
Gary Moeller is the offensive coordinator this year for the Wolverines. He was a defensive coordinator last year. He and Bo Schembechler decide on the plays, and they go in through Bo, so Bo has the final say on what the play is going to be.
That was Big Gorman that almost got him a while ago. Morris again a big hole up the middle. And it's a shoestring tackle by Ned Bolcar that keeps Jamie Morris from perhaps breaking it for 6.
There's some huge holes on the left side. Elliott is 72. You see him blocking on Kuntz, 93, just shoves him to the inside. Vitale is 67. A huge hole to run through. Morris gets through there, holds on to the ball in traffic. Take a look at this ground level. Demetrius Brown gets it to him as deep as he possibly can. That's good for a running back because he can get on with his business a lot sooner.
First down for the Wolverines. The ball at their own 48-yard line. Griffin is out. Morrison in. Nose tackle for Notre Dame. Demetrius Brown's pass is incomplete, intended for Chris Callaway. And he tried to drill one into Callaway, and Bolcar had dropped to the short zone, and there was backup help. So Brown is still looking for his first completion.
He's a little shaky now. He was playing a little bit better early on. He had time to wait. The receiver was coming straight across the field about 20 yards down, and he could have waited for him to clear the linebacker and thrown it inside the linebacker. He threw it too soon, tried to throw it over the linebacker, and he's just a little shook up. He needs somebody to make a play for him or a completion to settle him down.
2nd and 10. This is Phil Webb. About 4 yards on the carry, so it'll be 3rd down and 6 or 7. With Pritchett and Bolcar making the stop for the Irish.
Defensively for Notre Dame, their coordinator is Foge Fazio. Somebody you know and know very well. Former head coach at Pittsburgh and a longtime defensive coordinator there. And he says about his defense, we have 8 new starters on defense. He says they're blue-collar guys. They're just hard hats. They're a bunch of no-names, but they will get after you.
3rd and a long 6. They send the backers in the middle. Brown trying to outrun it, can't. So they shot the backers, Bolcar, and Bolcar got him. That's the 2nd blitz of the ball game by Notre Dame.
There's nothing more upsetting to a quarterback. See right here, this linebacker is going to blitz to the inside. Well, we're not seeing it, but a linebacker did blitz to the inside. And when a quarterback sees that blitz coming, he kind of says, uh-oh, I better get out of here because I got more people than I can block.
In to punt, Monty Robbins, 4th kick. Average on 3 is up around 45 yards. Spins this one down to Tim Brown at the 20. 1 block. Couldn't get away from number 15, David Arnold, a cornerback. Arnold brought him down right on the 30. At 2 minutes and 32 seconds to play in the first half. The Irish leading 10-0. This ABC Sports Exclusive brought to you by the makers of CFA VCR College Football Game. You don't have to be a football great to play great football. And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. Coming up at halftime, Al Troutwig and Jim Hill will run down the scores and highlights from games going on around the country. And we've got 2:32 to go in the first half. Notre Dame sending that first offensive unit front line back into the game now. That's Reeder, Freeman, Lanza, Pearson, Spruill. Spruill, Freeman, Reeder, all in graduate school. Lanza finishing up his undergraduate work this semester. Andrzak pitches to Mark Green. He steps away from a Michigan man who came firing in. Doug Mallory took a shot, blitzing from his strong safety spot at the top of the picture, and Green just stepped right over him.
Nice play by Mallory. He's playing with a broken hand. He has a cast on him. Defensive captain, and his brother was a defensive back at Michigan a couple of years ago and also was a captain.
Got a Michigan man shaken up. Time taken for him for a moment. That's number 56, Billy Harris. Let's go down to Mike Adamle now as he talks to a man who played a lot of football and banged up a lot of folks in the maize and blue.
Keith, he was the most famous number 72 here at the University of Michigan. A Wolverine tried and true, through and through, even wearing his Wolverine tie. Danny, you guys are down 10-zip, though. This isn't a typical Michigan effort.
Well, no, it's not like a Michigan football team to have their backs lay the football down on the ground like that and to make mistakes like this in the first half. Let's be realistic. This is not a come-from-behind offense. They can't afford to fall any farther in the hole.
Obvious that Bo misses Jimmy Harbaugh.
Well, that's right. And it's, of course, he's got a good young quarterback in reserve, too. But that's a decision I don't want to have to make. I know one thing. Michigan teams have poise, and I have a feeling they're going to make a ball game out of this.
Okay, I believe in the poise, too, especially their defense. We're going to watch this play, and we'll come back in a second here.
Give it to Green, and Green gets about a yard up to the 36. It'll be 3rd and 4. This is what Dan Deerdorf looked like back when he wore number 72.
They've just taken a trip down memory lane and flashed a picture of you in 1968. I think you came from Canton Glenwood High School.
That was pre-mustache, wasn't it?
Much better looking these days, Danny.
Oh, thank you, Mike. You're sweet.
Big game coming up, too, for you Monday night in Chicago. Speaking of Jim Harbaugh and the Chicago Bears. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, we're out of here right afterwards. Go to Chicago, get to work. Al and Frank are already there. And, hey, what more could we ask for? The two most physical teams in the sport, the Bears and the Giants. It's like a heavyweight fight. I can't wait to get there.
Have a great debut. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Dan.
Mark Green, tailback carrying, sweep left, and he looks like he might have just enough for the first down. Incidentally, Dan Deerdorf, when he played here in '68, was the heaviest man on the team at 240 pounds. I pointed out to him today, the right side of the Michigan offensive line has two guys, one of them a senior who weighs 306, I guess, and a freshman, a 17-year-old freshman behind him, who weighs 305 pounds, Greg Skrepanak, incidentally, and this will tell a lot of us about how time is passing, was born in 1970. It is the first time I have ever done a ball game in which there was a player involved born in 1970, and I'm still like Satchel. I ain't going to look over my shoulder.
There's a good look at the young man. You know, Deerdorf has not only added that mustache, he's also added about 50 pounds.
All right, first down for the Irish at their own 40, leading 10-0, and we're now at a minute to go in the first half. Little delay, hand the ball off to Anthony Johnson for a couple of yards. Notre Dame, I think now, is just interested in running out the clock and going to the clubhouse with a 10-0 lead.
Well, they certainly don't want to make any mistakes, that's for sure. Lou would be very comfortable going in at halftime 10-0 and regrouping and coming back out in the second half.
Remember, they get the ball, too, to start the second half, so he may go in there and come back with a whole new series of plays.
Well, as it turned out, the decision to defer was pretty good. He got his defense on the field first.
Well, Andrzejczyk's going to put it up on 2nd and 8. He's got Brown. He's got him, but can't see him. Intercepted. Bad decision by Andrzejczyk. But it comes with only 12 seconds to play. The weak corner, the guy who plays the boundary side, David Arnold, intercepted. He had Brown early on wide open, but simply because of those 6'7" linemen up there, he couldn't see him.
That's very true, Keith. He was wide open, and that was one of the concerns by Lou Holtz, and I'm sure he's going to talk to him right here. He says if things don't work out and somebody else makes a mistake, don't compound the mistake and you just say, well, it wasn't my fault because he ran the wrong route or he wasn't supposed to be where he was. But I can guarantee you right there that Holtz is doing something constructive and not negative, trying to help him find out where he was supposed to be, because that's the man right there that's going to lead him the rest of the way.
Demetrius Brown getting backside pressure, unloads it, going deep for Chris Callaway into the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. It is overthrown. He stepped away from the pressure. I thought that time he sensed it a little bit, but he just unloaded it, and there's no way in the world Callaway could run it down. So with 5 ticks now remaining on the clock, Colasar is one of the speedsters, number 40, and if he comes on the field, he's bringing a play.
You know, Schembechler is a great coach, very sound, and a good motivator. And when he was recruiting Demetrius, he asked him, do you think you can handle the pressure of playing in Michigan Stadium against Notre Dame in front of 105,000 on national TV? He says, I can handle it, and he came to Michigan. Well, this is deja vu. Here he is.
has time, gets his pass off. Pass is caught by the tight end. Time runs out. Michigan will not score as Jeff Brown hauls it in for a first down at the 16-yard line. Well, again, you talk about little things adding up to the sum. On the last play of the first half, Demetrius Brown stood in the pocket, drilled the ball to his target. What that may mean in the second half, we'll have to wait and see. It's 10-0, Fighting Irish.
The key figures there are the turnovers, obviously. The 3 for Michigan resulted in some points, all 10 of the points for Notre Dame. The one Notre Dame turnover came late and was not did not play a major part in scoring for Michigan, as they didn't score any points. The other thing is the number of plays, which you don't see on there, but 34 plays for Notre Dame, Michigan only 27, and they've really, of their 8 possessions for Michigan, they have really had no sustained drives. The only time they had it longer than 5 plays was they had the ball for 9 plays. It's hard to get any continuity going if you don't control the football, something that Bo wanted to do today. Here is the offensive leaders for the Wolverines. Morris, 84 yards, but the big number there are the 2 fumbles. Mesner leading the Wolverines in tackles with 8 and the 1 big sack. Andrzak, 74 yards with 1 touchdown in that late first half interception, and Timmy Brown with 2 receptions and the 1 touchdown.
Bolkar, as you see, having a big ball game defensively for Notre Dame with 7 tackles, and he has the 1 sack to go with those 7 tackles. So the Michigan defensive people will get the first challenge here, as Notre Dame will own the football for the first series. The sky growing dark now, and it begins to appear that the radar picture from the Goodyear Blimp America was correct. The storm is coming this way, a thunderstorm. How long it'll last, you can't ever tell. Sometimes they get in your neighborhood and park.
Well, the one that passed through here about an hour and a half before game time only lasted about 25, 30 minutes, but it certainly looks like we're going to be in for some rain here pretty shortly.
Recap of what happened in the first half insofar as possessions were concerned, and I thought one of the key possessions had to do with Michigan having the ball first down at the Notre Dame 45, having held the Irish, and then they wound up throwing an interception. But you know, it's kind of hard really to get on Brown's case for that, because he took a pretty good lick.
No question about that. He rode one way and didn't see the man coming. As you see, Notre Dame scoring on their second and third possession of the game, and their third possession started on the Michigan 35-yard line, and they had their 1 turnover late in the game, or late in the first half on their last possession.
Which is probably something that Terry Andrzak will never do again, because he had Brown available, couldn't find him, and then threw a poor pass and ill-advisedly, so it was picked off. All right, Tim Brown will be going back there for his first kickoff return of the season, and Mark Green, Braxton Banks will be flanking him with Mike Gillette putting the ball on the tee for the Wolverines, and we're just about ready to go with the Irish leading by a score of 10-0. It up. Short man's going to take it. That'll be Banks. And banks his shirt tail back around the 26. But the big fella keeps on pumping and gets it up to about the 35. So that's where the Irish will start. Pretty good field position, as the Michigan kicker did not get all of his foot on the ball. It'll be Mark Green and Anthony Johnson in the backfield for Notre Dame. Andrew Zach, your quarterback. And there will be a wide assortment of wide receivers in and out of the ball game. Andrew Zach, 7 out of 11, 74 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception in the first half. Green. Good defensive play, right side Michigan. Andre McIntyre, inside linebacker, flowing to the point, makes the stop, and there will be a loss of a yard. McIntyre is the man who calls the defensive signal. You see him looking to the sidelines, gets it now. He calls the defensive set, and they deploy as Notre Dame sends it double wide right side or bottom of the screen, and Andrew Zach rolls it that way. Has some room, a lot of room. Mallory finally gets him out of bounds at the Notre Dame 46, and he's got a first down.
Andrew Zach is not really a speed burner, but he runs well enough to get something done. This is a design run all the way. Watch how soon he puts the ball away right there. Nice block by Green, number 24, and he gets upfield and tries to get another block on Mallory.
So the Irish now in the opening possession of the second half. First down at their 46. They go double wide to the top of the picture, or the left side, field side. Run it to the boundary with Green carrying, and he crosses midfield. That's a pickup of close to 5 yards.
It's always interesting on the first possession of the second half to see what the coaches have done at halftime to maybe adjust offensively or defensively. There's a feeling out going on right here. A lot of communication from the press box coaches to the field to see if there's anything different in the Michigan defense or the Notre Dame offense.
They pitch it to Green. Green has a block on the corner. And he's going to have another first down for the Irish down around the Michigan 43-yard line.
There you see that the Notre Dame outscored their opponents in every quarter except the third, and then they were only 2 shy. So that just tells you a little bit about the head coach and the coaching staff as far as motivating the players. A lot of new players coming into this year.
It's a different looking Notre Dame team to me than we saw last year. Fullback Johnson. Just pure power over the left side for 3 yards down to the 40. Well, after all of that running around and showing 5 wide receivers and different players and different formations and everything, your inclination would be probably that Lou Holtz will come out a little while in the second half. But no, he's come out very conservative, and he's moving the ball. It'll be second down and 7 from the Michigan 41, and Ricky Waters is in there at tailback, the freshman. Andrew Zach keeps it, follows the fullback into the hole, and will move it down to the 37. They'll need almost 4 yards on third down.
That was a good point that you made, Keith, that Holtz showed a lot of different formations, a lot of different movement and things for Michigan to talk about at halftime, and then in the second half he comes out and just plays power football. The strength offensively is his offensive line and Timmy Brown, and he is coming out right now and just pushing them back up front.
He's now got Brown in the backfield as they set up in the wishbone for the first time today. Third, 3.5. Brown with the ball in the middle. Won't get it. Michigan holds him right around the 35 as Herman and Messner, the 2 big tackles, stuff it.
Well, Well, Messner, number 60, has been a man among boys here today as he just takes the offensive lineman, steps around him. That's Pearson, 62, and has enough quickness to get back inside and be a part of the tackle.
4th and 1, and they're going. Michigan goal line defense. Andrzak stepped away from a tackler, picks up the first down. Rolls inside the 30. Thiebert brought him down, but there's conference amongst the men wearing the striped shirts. Dead ball foul. Procedure Irish. So Notre Dame gets the first down, but make a mistake, and it'll cost them 5. And again, Lou Holtz is in serious conversation with his quarterback, Andrzak.
Well, it was the left guard that jumped off sides. Freeman, the man just left of the center, right here. But what happens is, I think what may have happened is he may have put it on a quick count. Right there, as you see him jumping off sides, and you never want to go on a short yardage or a goal line play on a quick count. The defense may holler something, yell something. That may have been what Freeman heard and just took off.
Palin punting. Campbell back, lets it go, takes a bounce. Michigan bounce in the end zone. It'll come back to the 20. At 11 minutes and 1 tick in the 3rd quarter, Notre Dame leading 10-0. And now Michigan gets the ball for the first time in the second half. Demetrius Brown now coming out to engineer the offense for the second half. And this possession will be very interesting. The wide people, Greg McMurtry, has not seen the ball today. Chris Callaway couldn't catch one. It was thrown over his head. Jared Bunch is in at fullback. I believe that's the first time today. Number 32. He's a big sophomore. Jamie Morris, the tailback with the ball. Gets outside. Loses some of his momentum on the corner as contact was made, and he'll pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards. Brandy Wells and George Streeter on the tackle for Notre Dame.
Jamie Morris, it's interesting. He and his brother Joe Morris of the New York Giants, they always bounce up very quickly. And Jamie was saying we do that because when our mother is watching, it's kind of a message to her that everything's all right and we're not hurt.
Yeah, it's also important to the guy that laid the lick on you, too. You pop up
Yeah,
and just say, all right, big boy, you didn't hurt me. I'm coming back for more. Second down. Morris again, hole right side. Big, big hole. First down across the 35 to the 36. And I sort of remember an old Walter Camp line on a play like that, Bob. And the intent of the blocking is to do not open the door for the enemy to come in, but for the sortie to go out.
Dames is going to come. The fullback is going to go to the left. But watch as Morris goes to the right. Little misdirection. As Dame 76 leads, there's nobody for him to block. He should have turned it up in the hole and tried to get somebody else. But a well-designed play. Morris now 15 carries, 100 yards.
And first down, Michigan out near the 36-yard line. 9:59 to go, 3rd quarter, 10-0 Irish. Morris again. And Jamie will pick up 3 up close to the 40. Tackle, Ned Bolkar. One more time with help from Tom Gorman. I think Demetrius Brown will stay until he makes another mistake. If he is in fact going to make a change and bring in Michael Taylor, who is pretty much on a par with Brown. Maybe not quite as quick, but a better option quarterback.
Right now they're hitting on just one cycle, and that's their running game. They've got no passing game whatsoever.
Second down and 7. Morris again. Morris, good blocking right side. Momentum will carry him very close to the first down.
And this is exactly, Keith, what Coach Fazio and the Notre Dame defense wanted to do. They wanted to contain Jamie Morris. They knew they weren't going to shut him out. He has over 100 yards right now. Even if he gains 150 or 200 yards, if they don't make that much passing, they're going to be all right. They're in the ball game, obviously 10 points up, but they wanted to take Morris away, contain him, and force the quarterback position to produce. And to this point, he has not.
I remember a ball game many years ago when Dick Bass was playing at College of Pacific. They played Washington State when Keith Lincoln and that bunch were at Pullman. And Dick Bass ran for something like 230 yards in the ball game. But the other folks won the ball game 34-0.
Sure. They won the battle but lost the war.
Yep. You run for 230 yards, you figure, well, we're going to light it up, but it doesn't always work that way. Well, it looks like now from the Goodyear Blimp America that thunderstorm may veer a little bit away from us and miss us.
What do you mean it looks like? How could you read that?
I always wanted to be a weatherman.
Where were we?
Well, it's changed direction, what I'm trying to say, I think. Inside, fullback carries. That's Bunch. And the sophomore from Ashtabula, Ohio, will get the first down. As you saw the measurement, they were just about the length of the football short of it. Mark the ball at the 48 of Michigan, where the Wolverines have a first down. They're crunching it out right now. The way Notre Dame's defensive is set up, you would think that one of those speedsters could go deep, but they stay with the ground game. Bunch one more time, and the offensive line surge will be good for about 3 yards on the carry.
Good point, Keith. Brown has a strong arm, and you don't have to read coverage or read linebackers when you throw the ball deep down the sidelines. They do have some speed, and I'm surprised they have not tried to throw the ball deep to let Brown just air it out a little bit. I'm not so sure. I think Schembechler is going to stay with him 2 or 3 or 4 series in the second half and try to get his feet underneath him. If he doesn't do that, I'm sure that maybe we'll see Taylor, the other untested quarterback, maybe in the fourth quarter.
Now you got Trip Welborn in there, and he's back to pass. All he's got to do is unload it. Welborn's out there, and he's got the ball. It rolls loose, incomplete. My goodness, number 31, Corny Southall, slapped that ball as he was going down. It looked for all the world as if he had made the catch, but Southall knocked it loose.
Well-designed play. They've been doing a lot of running, got a little play action. Southall 31 was beaten. The ball was right on target, and I could not see from there whether or not it came out before he hit the ground. No, he dropped it. Never had possession of it.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. It wasn't Southall. He was the first man.
Yeah.
It was Brandy Wells, the second man.
Southall was fooled by the play action. Should have been deep center and was not.
Third down now and 7. Jamie Morris is out of the lineup. They're going to throw it. Down the middle it goes. Intercepted. He tried to touch it into Colazar, and it's picked off by Southall. And it's Michigan's 4th turnover in the ball game.
Big mistake for Demetrius Brown here. Threw the ball right at Southall. Southall, it was never a mystery. Here's Southall right here, number 31. He's just going to drift to this way, and Demetrius is going to throw the ball over here, and he's just going to slide over to make the interception. Watch 31 at the top. Demetrius looks to his right, telegraphs he's going to throw it over there, and if anything, should have waited and thrown it over when the receiver ran downfield.
Well, the two defenders were almost in stationary posture, whereas the receiver was in full speed and surely would have been able to outrun him if he'd have waited just another second. Here the Irish have a break and own the ball first down at the 45 on Michigan's 4th turnover, leading by a score of 10-0 at 7:43 to play in the third quarter. Banks and Green, Braxton Banks actually the lone remaining back now for Notre Dame. Brown and Dumas wide to the bottom of the picture, and they run it. And Braxton Banks will pick up a couple of yards before Andre McIntyre, the inside linebacker, nails him down.
McIntyre, 54, was the second leading tackler on this ball club last year, as Pearson, 62, does a poor job, just throws it at him, and he just rides him down like a Brahma bull, but very poor attempt at a block there by Pearson.
Second down and 8 coming up for the Irish. Now that's Brown up at the top of the picture. Dumas down at the bottom. The white people for the Irish. Andrzejczyk back to throw. He's looking for Brown, goes underneath Brown, and the pass is complete down to the Michigan 30-yard line. Frank Jacobs, the tight end. He had Brown over there to clear it out. He trailed his tight end, and he was wide open.
That's a good point, Keith. Here's Brown up here. Now watch this. He'll clear the area, and the tight end is right here. He's just going to sneak out here to the side, and the ball is going to be an easy throw as Brown goes straight down. The tight end trails him, hangs in the area that's open. Well-designed play. Well executed.
Lou likes his tight end. He doesn't use him a lot. But when he has to have one, he oftentimes will involve his tight end. First down, Irish. Michigan 30. Bang! Down goes Green. Underneath, Billy Harris, the middle guard, and Mark Messner, the defensive tackle.
You want to talk about defensive line. These two right here, as they slant this way, you see them step into the gap between the offensive linemen. That's why they're in the backfield. The linebackers were going the opposite way to cover for them.
Harris leaving the game. It looked, Billy came out early on in the ball game. He may be dinged up a little bit now as Mike Teeter goes in to replace him. A big sophomore from Fruit Fork, Michigan. Looking down from the Goodyear Blimp America for this picture as Andrzejczyk goes back to throw. Penalty flag down. The pass is away, incomplete, out of the hands of Tim Brown. You won't see that very often. He had come down the right side and broken completely free, but I think he got a hold call coming against Notre Dame. And I think it's on Chuck Lanza, the center. Chuck coming back saying, look, that dude's been beating on me all day. I got to do something to defend myself.
Let's see if we can, there, right there. If you can see the center, to the right of your screen, number 51 has his hands outside the frame of the body of Teeter.
What was that story a few years ago? I don't remember exactly what team was involved, but somewhere down in the South, the center was taking that big old middle guard is beating on him. He's taking a grip on his shirt and just falling over backwards, but he was taking that middle guard with him. Bringing him right down with him.
On the offense. Repeat second down.
They'll take down.
So the penalty moves the football back to the 41 of Michigan now. It's 21 yards coming up. And Billy Harris, a senior from Xenia, Ohio, is back in the lineup at middle guard for Michigan. Time showing third quarter, 5:42. Notre Dame sitting on the ball. It's second down and 21. Andrzejczyk back. He's got Green underneath, throws to him. Green catches, and he's knocked down at about the 38-yard line.
Andrzejczyk's pass is complete. 224.3.
You see McIntyre, number 54, taking a look as we see a little roll. 24. Green is eventually going to get the ball. Andrzejczyk was looking downfield and dumps it off to Green for a short gain.
Third and 18. Jamie Morris has got his 100 yards today. Andrzejczyk now totaling 100 for the Irish. Straight back, no pressure. All day. Brown. 14-yard line, first down, Notre Dame. Well, I want to ask you a child's question here. How does he do that? How does he get so wide open?
I'm going to show you. It's not much to it. He's just going to come down and hook into the middle as the deep men are going to drop straight back. The linebackers that are short are just going to drop straight back, and he's going to find a gap in between them. Watch him hook to the inside. There's a huge lane in there. Andrzejczyk finds him. No big deal to that. Just go down, hook, and I'll find you, as long as you've got protection.
Well, if you're going to track him, you got to get closer to his nose, don't you?
You got to play a box and one, have somebody run with him and zone behind it.
Out of the wishbone, inside fullback, Banks. Braxton Banks pounds his way to about the 8. That'll be a pickup of close to 6 yards.
Michigan is just letting Brown run free in the secondary and hoping that their linebackers in their zones will take care of it.
I would say it's now abundantly clear they can't.
Well, it's stopping the deep stuff. He's not throwing over their heads. He's throwing short of them, and that's what's hurting him at this point.
They set up again in the wishbone with Alonzo Jefferson, Mark Green, and Anthony Johnson behind Andrzejczyk. This goes from the 7th. And working inside to about the 4 is Johnson. And he's close to his first down. They'll bring the chains on. A touchdown here, Bob, going to make Michigan's climb pretty steep.
Make it awfully tough with the style of offense they have and the way their quarterbacks have been producing today. You see, it's just about a foot short.
Banks Clinton on the field. He's bringing a play. Johnson leads. Third down. Not a foot. Quarterback Andrzejczyk going right up the back of Chuck Lanza, his big senior center, and co-captain of the offensive team. In fact, co-captain of the team, period, along with Spruell, the big tackle. And they've got the first down. So it's Irish. First and goal from the 3. I don't see Michael Taylor warming up.
Well, Bo's concern right now is stopping him defensively. His defense is a conservative bend but don't break and hope that they'll make a mistake somewhere along the way. Notre Dame has not made many mistakes today.
It's Tim Brown from the left halfback position out of the wishbone, just over the 2. Messner, the tackle for Michigan. Sooners win 28-0. North Carolina playing without their tailback, Doran, who starred last week, and UCLA in the first quarter has come out to a 7-0 lead over Nebraska. That's at Lincoln. This is the 10th play of this possession, and the officials stop them for a moment. Ball is short of the 1. Second down and goal. Fullback Banks, touchdown. And the Michigan Wolverines are in trouble. 10 plays, 55 yards coming off the turnover, and all the Notre Dame points today have come off Michigan turnovers.
Just tough head blocking up front. The offensive line doing a fair job in this good effort to get into the end zone by Banks.
Extra point try. Waddle's kick is good. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the third quarter. And Notre Dame's lead now is imposing. Thanks very much. Jamel Holloway. He's a dandy. Waddle will kick it off. And it is Alan Jefferson back there instead of Jamie Morris with Phil Webb. So it's Jefferson and Webb deep for Michigan. High hanger. It goes toward Webb at the 9. That's a tough way to come back up the field, isn't it? He's up to about the 23 where he had a collision with Randy Wells. And a Michigan man shaken up on the play. Here's Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, you know, back in 1956, they expanded Michigan Stadium to over 100,000 for the first time. 101-1 to be exact. Why the odd seat? Well, then athletic director Fritz Chrysler decided to make Michigan Stadium extra unique. He'd add that odd seat. It would also give people at cocktail parties something to talk about. The only problem was, well, Fritz forgot to tell the people where the seat was. So this is just a guess, folks. Behind this obstructed view is what we figure. It might not be the seat, but it looks like it ought to be. And it figures that they would stick a lot of Notre Dame fans up here. Because other than touchdowns, you can't see too much anything.
I remember the story going something like this. The fellow showed up and said, we've got room for one more seat. And Chrysler said, well, you build it and I'll sell it. And the player shaken up for Michigan, Rick Hassel, a defensive back, and he's trotting off the field. So Demetrius Brown now will come out 1 for 10 in his passing, intercepted twice. And Bo Schembechler is staying with him.
Well, he has not looked good, Keith, and the couple passes that he has thrown well, the receivers have not come through for him.
On a throw on first down, underneath, pass is good to McMurtry, immediately thrown down. It'll be a short pickup, but the point is the pass was complete, and the pass was thrown right to the numbers. At number 9 right there is Michael Taylor, another junior. He's out of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. Called by, in the opinion of some who have watched the practices, maybe a better option quarterback than Brown.
Not as strong an arm as Brown, and has had some injuries the last couple of weeks, and that's why Brown is starting. He had more practice time.
Second down and 6. Morris is on his way. First down, Michigan up at the 44. Wes Pritchett finally got him from behind. Well, I tell you what, if you get 2 or 3 passes completed, particularly in the short zones, you're going to open up a lot of running room for Jamie Morris.
No question.
That's the Goodyear Blimp America up there, as we've been telling you all day. The pilot, Captain Aaron Jenkins, and Bill Sullivan's our cameraman up there, offering the pictures. Down. Morris out of the ball game right now. Underneath, the pass is caught by Phil Webb out of the backfield. And Webb will pick up a half a dozen yards maybe. Nope, give him less than that. From the 44 up to about the 49. So it'll be second down and 5.
One of the problems with the passing game of Michigan, they lost a lot of their good receivers. They're all young. Their best and most productive receiver of 86, they lost due to academics. Not because they were bad, but good. He got all A's. Ken Higgins had the option to go to the law school here at the University of Michigan this year, but he was also accepted at Harvard Law School and opted to go to law school at Harvard.
Brown pulls it down. Got some room. He's on his way. One man. Southall, and Corney runs him out of bounds. Corney Southall, a former running back, now playing free safety for Notre Dame, had the speed to run Brown down at the 12-yard line.
This is one of the reasons why Brown is in there. This is a run all the way. It's a fake draw play, and it's a quarterback draw, in effect 49 yards as he gets down the field, and Southall runs him out of bounds.
So it's first down for the Michigan Wolverines at the 12, with Morris, Jefferson, and Bunch in there now in the wishbone. Line is balanced. Brown keeping it down about the line of scrimmage. Number 93, Jeff Kuntz. First man, Cedric Figueroa, the linebacker on the boundary side, second man for Notre Dame. Time about gone in the third quarter, 17-0, and this is Michigan's most serious scoring threat. McMurtry brings the play in, and as he comes in, they're going to break up the wishbone and go back to the eye, putting Morris in the eye back and McMurtry to the top of the picture. Loops it up for McMurtry, touchdown! with 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mike Gillette for the point. Monty Robbins, the punter, holds it, and Borowski snaps it. And it works.
No story about this one. Right out here, one-on-one. The receiver is just going to go down. But the key is here, watch when Brown releases the ball. He throws it right now. McMurtry's 3 yards in front of the defensive back. That's a little bit of touch, and you have to have a little bit of class to throw that ball.
That is also the first career touchdown for McMurtry. 17-7 the score. Well, Demetrius Brown has finally hung one on the board. First for him, first for McMurtry. Michigan now trailing by 10 points, and this will close out this kickoff the third quarter. Mike Gillette will kick it. Last time he kicked it, he popped it up. Didn't get much out of it. This is a better kick, and it's Tim Brown taking it back at the 6-yard line. And Brown is finally lassoed up around the 27. And the third quarter is over. So after 3, 17-7, Notre Dame. We'll be back with more of ABC's college football after this message and a word from our local station. Michigan Stadium. I haven't gotten the exact count of the crowd yet, but we know it's around 105,000. We go to the final period of play. Notre Dame getting 17 points off 4 Michigan turnovers. The Wolverines scoring in the closing seconds of the third quarter as Demetrius Brown engineered a drive, hitting 3 out of 3 passes, including a 12-yarder for the touchdown to McMurtry. And Tim Brown's return to the kickoff for Notre Dame has put the ball at the 28, and there the Irish have it, first down. Mark Green and Braxton Banks in the eye. Harry Andrzak pitches to Mark Green. Green with those quick feet. Cuts it back inside when the outside was taken away from him, and he'll pick up about 4 yards.
But he balanced the running heavily in favor of Michigan, with Jamie Morris getting most of that passing yardage, mostly in Notre Dame's favor. But the key, as you just mentioned, was the turnovers, Keith. And Michigan has the momentum here. They finally got their offense untracked, and it's going to be interesting to see offensively what Notre Dame tries to do on this series of downs.
Second down and 6 from the 32. Andrzak, a little quick drop-off pass to Mark Green. Green works his way down the sideline for a first down at the Notre Dame 46-yard line.
Well, what they did was a safe screen. Watch the wide receiver up here. He's going to come and block this linebacker. These 2 linemen will come out here as the pass will come right out here to Green from the tailback position. Watch the flanker at the top. He comes in and just whacks the linebacker. That gets it started. Then the 2 offensive linemen get out there. Good call because it's a safe play.
And it's a first down for the Irish. Anthony Johnson now in at fullback. Has the ball. And yardage. Big yardage. About 8, maybe 9 yards before J.J. Grant brings him down. ABC's Monday Night Football premieres this coming Monday night with the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants at Soldier Field. We have a pregame show at 8:30 Eastern Time, and the ball game gets underway with the ball on the tee about 9. The Bears and the Giants, the ground will crack. Well, I'm telling you, they're jumping up and down in Chicago about that game down there. Inside, they go for the first down, and they didn't get it. They're going to come up a yard short as Johnson was met by Mike Teeter.
Ball carried by Anthony Johnson.
You're at a safe distance now. Give me a winner Monday night.
It's going to be a tough ball game. I think the Giants can repeat. I think they have enough depth that if they have injuries at any of the positions, they still have enough depth to win the whole thing. Whether or not they're going to win Monday night, it's going to be tough beating them there. But I think the Giants will win the ball game.
Third and a yard for Notre Dame. Johnson has the first down. He cut it off the right side behind Pearson and Spruill. And Byron Spruill at 280 laid all that muscle from Aurora, Ohio on a defender and opened the door for him.
This is a key drive right here, a key series, because Michigan has just went down and scored their first touchdown in 3 quarters, and now Notre Dame wants to take that momentum away. They come back, they make it on 3rd down. Earlier in the game, they made it on 4th down. I have a feeling, although Mesner has played very well for Michigan's defense, that the Notre Dame offense is controlling the line of scrimmage when they need to.
On 1st down, Andrzejak gives it to Green, and Green wiggles in there and picks up about 6 or 7 yards. And we have what I think is a significant substitution here. In at center now is Tim Grunhard, a 270-pound sophomore out of Chicago. Chuck Lanza has gone out of the ball game for the first time, so maybe that sore shoulder was sort of getting a little tender, and he's out of there right now for a breather. So you have a new center at on the Notre Dame side of the ball.
And that means that the quarterback will have to stay in there just a split second longer to make sure he gets the snap.
There goes the fullback Johnson again, and he's close to another first down. And the Irish offensive front now just jawboning the Michigan defense. They want the change. It's that close. Time remaining in the ball game, 11 minutes and 36 seconds. You know what? I haven't seen anything come across last weekend nor this weekend that would really constitute what we would say is an upset in college football.
It's tough when you just come out of the starting blocks. You don't know whose team is going to be strong. You know Michigan is going to be strong, but they have a weakness in a critical area, and that's at quarterback until these young quarterbacks can really mature a little bit. Notre Dame, you don't know about. They lost 8 defensive starters. They lost their all-time leading statistical passer. They lost their place kicker, who was the most accurate of all their place kickers in Notre Dame history. They lost their punter. They have a lot of new faces playing, but that's why the first week of the season, and also, Keith, the first week of any season, football, high school, pro, or college, you never know what's going to come out of the chute.
Which is what you're saying makes all these early polls seem kind of silly, doesn't it? Particularly the preseason. All right, it's 3rd down and very short for Notre Dame. Down as Andrzejak kept the ball and just followed the middle and picked up the 1.5 yards or so to get it. Incidentally, McIntyre and Mesner now each have 11 tackles in the ball game. Nebraska jumping ahead of UCLA in the 2nd quarter. Ohio State, that was earlier. Boston College, you see next week against Southern California here on ABC. Tennessee rolling right along. Johnny Majors Volunteers 3-0 now. Cornell Taylor is the Notre Dame fullback out of the wishbone on 1st down from the Michigan 32. Well, they're getting a lot of production out of that fullback position now. This is a circumstance, I think, a little bit like a baseball team. Michigan has come down at the end of the quarter, and they've scored. The most important possession, perhaps, for Notre Dame in the ball game would be the next possession. So what have they done? They've just taken it and whopped it down the field. It's like a baseball team. When you get back into the game or score some runs to get a cushion, the most important thing is for your pitcher to hold it.
There's no tricks right here. Holtz is going to his wishbone and just playing power football.
Andrzejak, the quarterback, keeps it. And his momentum, or the lean that he was able to effect after the tackle, gets him down to about the 25.
And it's the time of the game where you need to play power football. His offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage. He needs a time-consuming drive, and he is getting it. This is the 11th play of this drive. They're on the 25-yard line. They could use 5 or 6 more plays.
And time ticking inexorably away. 10 minutes to go in the game. Andrzejczak gives it off to the up man, the fullback Taylor again. And again, there's about 3-4 yards there for him. There is the thing that Bo Schembechler can do about it, except watch.
But the strength of that defense was supposed to be in the defensive line, and we've seen Mesner make some great plays today. Billy Harris has made some good plays. And McIntyre, 54, has made some nice plays. But Notre Dame's offensive line, as you mentioned earlier in the ballgame, those 4 fifth-year seniors are dominating up front.
4th down and a half yard. 4th and a half. Andrzejczak looking around. He saw all of those big people, shoulder to shoulder, right in there in a goal line defense, and he wanted to talk about it. All right, Michigan now has, I don't know, I guess maybe Lou thinks here that he goes for 3. It makes it a 20-7 ball game because he has sent Grottle into the game. And I don't really, he was 4th down and a half a yard. And while we were away, Bob Greasy had said this might be a good time to test your courage. Go ahead and fake it, play action, and look for the tight end all by himself.
Well, he's run the ball all the way down with that wishbone. And knowing Holtz, as unpredictable as he is, and as the magician that he is, pulling something out of his back pocket, I think on that last play, he was lined up in wishbone and just said, try and pull them off sides, don't snap the ball, and if they don't come, we'll call timeout. But here he's going to kick the field goal. I was wondering if you line up wishbone, fake it into the line, you hit your tight end downfield, the game would be over. If you miss it, though, you got to weigh that against going for a field goal or just going for the first down.
Bo out on the edge of the field with a small moment of oratory for one of the officials. And did he charge Michigan with a timeout there?
Somebody was charging a timeout.
I don't think he wanted it.
Field goal for 28.
So I think he's pretty hot about it because I don't think he called it. But he stuck with it. So both teams now with 2 timeouts remaining. And Ted Grottle to try a 38-yard field goal. And he's got it. And so now the score goes to 20-7 with 8 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the football game. Notre Dame will kick it off to Michigan. Alan Jefferson and Phil Webb now are the deep people. They've taken Jamie Morris off the kickoff return team here, saving him for the hard work that's in front of him because they trail now by 13 points. This goes to Webb at the 5. Webb works his way back to the 25. What Lou Holtz did in kicking the field goal now, he forces Michigan to score 2 touchdowns to catch up. The other way, a touchdown and a field goal could have tied it. So what he has done is just increased the burden a little bit on Michigan.
Well, he's played the percentage. He's in the driver's seat right now. He has the lead. His defense is playing well. There's 9 minutes to play, and he is putting the pressure right there on that man right there. Demetrius Brown, the last drive, he was 3 straight passes he completed for 21 yards, and he ran twice for 48 yards. So as you can tell, when he played well, they moved the football.
Morris the I-back. Brown back to throw it. Pass is away, intended for McMurtry, and it is incomplete. Defense on the play from Stan Smagala, cornerback, 5'11", 175, a sophomore out of Burbank, Illinois.
Good coverage. There was McMurtry had no chance of catching it, and probably a poor decision, but you're going to get some of that. This man has a lot of talent. He just has to play, and the only way you're going to learn is by getting out there and making those mistakes.
2nd and 10 from the 25. McMurtry again, picked off. Intercepted by Corny Southall. Back to the Michigan 38-yard line. Southall had him in his sights all the way. turnovers now for Michigan.
Well, he made a big mistake, Keith. He didn't read the coverage. He just did. Here you see right here, he's going to run down, straight down the field. Southall is sitting right here. He's going to read it all the way. He rolls away from the receiver. Now he pulls up, and I don't know if he doesn't see him. McMurtry doesn't come back. It wasn't a hook. He just throws it like you throw it in practice. You hope it's going to be there. You can't do that. You have to read it first and then react and make your decision.
It's another one of those soft patterns, wasn't it? There's no decisiveness at all in the pattern.
Well, you were hoping for a different coverage that Southall was going to be up blitzing or to the wide side of the field. Obviously, it wasn't the case.
38-yard line of Michigan. Ball goes to Mark Green. 3 yards to the 35. 8.5 minutes to play in the ball game.
That's the key to the game right there, the turnovers. Bo Schembechler said before the game, and I think he probably knew that with his young quarterbacks, he would like to keep his mistakes to a minimum.
That's Gary Moeller, the offensive coordinator there, talking to Demetrius Brown.
Holtz on the other side had to see that same problem for Michigan, that they had young people at quarterback. Just give them some rope, maybe they'll make some mistakes, and they certainly turned out that way here today.
This is Alonzo Jefferson. 5'7", 190 pounds from West Palm Beach, Florida. Runs into Doug Mallory down the field, but not before he's got an Irish first down.
It was Tim Williams taken off the field. As you see the wishbone again, a nice block there. Using his speed just to get outside, and Mallory running him out of bounds.
That's the first time all day they've gone that way out of the wishbone, and especially gone that way wide. So again, something different out of the wishbone set as Ricky Waters comes in now at a running back position, and he's got the ball going the other way. And he's down to about the 20. Time remaining, 7:40. Boston College, USC, out of the Coliseum, Los Angeles. Next week, we begin it at 3 o'clock from the studios in New York. Kick it off around 3:25, 3:30. Jack Bicknell's BC Eagles rolling right along. They've won their first two. Right now, Notre Dame is looking for the door slammer, leading 20-7. Trying to cash in another Michigan turnover. Second down and 6. Pickup is to about, maybe 2 yards on that carry. As we wind toward the end of the ball game, we will continue a 17-year tradition of selecting a Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each of the teams, with Chevrolet donating a $1,000 scholarship in each player's name to each school to further assist qualified students in the pursuit of their studies. 3rd and 5. Waters and Johnson are the backs. Aaron Cobb wide left. Rob goes toward the post. They pitch it back to Waters. Waters breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Before number 12, he is a true freshman, and one that if Lou Holtz is very high on as he uses his speed and then a nice straight arm to get into the end zone. Lou Holtz, what makes this offense so tough, because he can throw a lot of different things at you. He's got a lot of offensive packages. He's got the wishbone. He has the option. He has 3 wide receivers he makes you prepare for defensively. He has sprint outs, and he can do it without substituting. This is what a team defensively faces when they attack Holtz and the things that he can do offensively. And he's
timeout called by Notre Dame. Lou, walking down the sideline, saw something he didn't like and immediately called timeout. 6:14 to play in the ball game. The Irish will go for 2. That's what he wanted. He wanted to do it. He had the people out there, but there seems some indecision on some players' part as to whether they stay in or go out.
Too much celebrating in the corner of the end zone.
That's right. They weren't watching for the signal. 26-7. He wants 2 to make it 28-7. Waters wide to the bottom. Brown to the top. Little shovel pass inside. Ball is loose, and Billy Harris picks it up. It's an incompleted forward pass. The play does not work, and the score remains at 26-7. And this will be the first home opener that a Bo Schembechler team has ever lost. In fact, Michigan has not lost a home opener since 1968.
It's a shovel pass. As you see the blitz, Mallory, number 8, coming. McIntyre, 54, was also coming on the blitz. No hole inside, and good defense by Michigan. But Lou Holtz has done it today. He has been able to pull around, keep the defense off balance.
Well, just for the sake of conversation while we're waiting for the kickoff, you know who he's got next? George Perlis and his Michigan State, the Spartans, who play all kinds of games around that defensive line.
That'll be an interesting matchup. We saw Michigan State and Perlis's defense and defensive line and all the stunts. It's a stunning 4-3 that they used, the same defense that he used when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and used that style of defense when they won the 4 championships. That'll be an interesting chess, Perlis and Holtz.
Alan Jefferson and Bill Webb are the deep people for Michigan now with 6:14 to play, and Michigan needs some help. Somebody threw something out of this, some kind of a little plastic football out there, and throttled the waiting to kick off. Just booted it out of the way. Hooks it off to the left. That's going to go out of bounds. So they'll back up and kick it from the 30, and let's spend a moment with Mike Adams.
Okay, Keith, you know, we've from week to week we have introduced you to proud parents. This is Chuck Lanza Sr. Of course, his son Chuck Jr. played a whale of a game for the Irish offensive line, and I guess the Irish eyes are smiling, even though there's only 5,000 of you here today in Michigan Stadium.
It's a good win, Mike. I think we're going to be all right. Although I'd like to see one more score, and then we'll light up the cigar.
It's been kind of tough here being a small army of Irish partisans.
I'll tell you what, I think the crowd is more for the Irish, and I haven't heard anything from Michigan, really. I think it's been a good crowd, especially over here with these people.
Well, what do you guys think about it, huh? I finally found some Notre Dame fans.
Well, the Michigan folks haven't had much to shout about.
They will.
Yes, they will. It's the conference that is the absolute thrust of this program. 10-yard line. Returning is Alan Jefferson. He comes back to the 35. Matter of fact, Bo Schembechler, talking about scheduling Notre Dame, only would agree to play Notre Dame in the opening game. He did not want a non-conference game of such national importance to be butted up against one of the Big Ten conference games. After this one, Washington State comes in, and then Long Beach State comes in. And now we get the new quarterback, Michael Taylor, Jr., 6-footer, 195, Lincoln Heights, Ohio. So now Taylor will get a chance for some seasoning with 6:09 to play in the ball game. Comes out throwing and is immediately intercepted. It is picked off by Notre Dame's number 34, Wes Pritchett, the linebacker.
Well, Schembechler is going. And just go back. Here's Pritchett right here. The tight end is going to come right to the middle of the field, trying to get back. Just goes right between them. Pritchett in front of him. Receive you're throwing to. That time Taylor did. Pritchett's inside of it.
Bob's mic's going kaput, so we'll have to put a new headset on him here in a minute and clear it up. 30-yard line, first down for Notre Dame now on the 6th Michigan turnover. And you can see young Taylor was shocked, keeping the ball, carrying the ball. Tony Brooks, they brought Tim Brown back on a reverse, faked it, kept it, and picked up big yards on the play. Tim Brown actually has only been involved in 8 of the 6 or 7 plays Notre Dame had today, and total just 44 yards. So from the standpoint of Brown being the big gun, if you will, it's been almost more decoy.
Well, there's certainly been some decoy in it, and he also got him off to on the right foot with a big touchdown.
Yes, he did. Second down and 3. And Brooks brought down by Messner.
Carried by Brooks.
Mark Messner from Heartland, Michigan. Big Mark Messner's in the running, in my opinion, for an MVP right here, the way he's played today.
Messner has played well. McIntyre has also played well defensively for Michigan.
Ball is on the 25-yard line, third down and 5. Time remaining, 4:42. Held short of his first down by about 3 yards by Mike Teeter, the middle guard, number 91. Al Trotwig and Jim Hill will wrap up the day for you in college football right after we finish here in Ann Arbor. We're about at 4 minutes even now. And in comes Grottle again for a field goal. This one will really, it'll be almost as effective as a touchdown, and a penalty flag stops it. Could be encroachment on Michigan. Yep, offside. Tom's having trouble with his microphone. Bob just blew up on him. Must be the humidity.
That guy's not having any trouble with his, Mike.
You look like he came right out of the Peabody Hotel.
I think Lou ought to be a little bit more demonstrative. I don't think he's loose enough. You know what I mean?
I remember one time in an Arkansas-Texas game, he threw his wristwatch 52 yards. We faced it off. No, he's got the rocking chair in his motion right now. First down. Fumble. Penalty flag follows it.
Well, there's the problem that Holtz was afraid would happen with the backup center, Grunhardt, in there. Fortunately for Holtz and the Irish, it didn't happen until they were well into the ball game and just kind of icing it away.
Notre Dame keeps the football, but they'll get dinged with a holding penalty here. That's Doug Mallory, the defensive captain for Michigan, talking.
Holding during the loose ball. On the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So bring it back, make it first and 20. At 3:31 to play in the ball game, and Lanza comes back into the lineup.
Holtz was telling me yesterday, Keith, that he felt like at the end of last year when they beat Southern California out on the coast by a couple of points, a high-scoring game, that they were one of the top 15 teams in the country. Unfortunately, the season was over with. They certainly have carried that momentum over from last year into this season opener.
Carrying the ball, Tony Brooks. the freshman running back, and picking up a pretty good chunk of yardage on that one.
Their record last year, by the way, was 5-6, but toward the end of the year, they start really putting it together.
Well, it was the movement, I think, what has made this a different-looking team to me. It's the movement of those three running backs, actually, though we have not seen Francisco today. But the two running backs into the defensive secondary. They added some speed back there.
Exactly. And some balance. They've got more balance.
This is Brooks dancing with it to the sidelines and out of bounds. He's still short of his first down, but again, he got a pretty good chunk of yardage. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game for Notre Dame, Terry Andrzejczyk, the quarterback, 11 out of 15 for 138 yards, a touchdown, intercepted one time. And for Michigan, Mark Messner, 14 tackles, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for losses among those 14. A check in the amount of $1,000 donated by Chevrolet in their names to each of the university's general scholarship fund. Third down now and 7 for the Irish. And this is Brooks again. And he sort of got out there at no man's land, and penalty flags follow the tackle. And there's a Notre Dame man down on the field. Irish holding again, getting tired. Some of the offensive people up front perhaps getting a little tired. Fatigue does funny things to you.
No question about that. Can't see the number.
That's Anthony Johnson, fullback.
I'm impressed with the abilities of these two young freshmen, true freshmen, Brooks, who we just saw carry the ball, and also Waters, who scored a touchdown. Green, Mark Green, their regular tailback, has played very well today, and all of those players are going to get better this year and provide some balance to take away the coverage from Tim Brown.
Holding on the offense is declined. Fourth down.
Fourth down then for Notre Dame. The football is at the 13-yard line, and they've got to go pretty close to the 8, so they need, I'll call it the 9, so they need at least 4 yards. At least 4. And so they send out Rattle with a kicking tee, and they'll go for the field goal.
Field goal for the 20.
30-yard field goal try. Andrzejczyk does the holding. Grunhardt the snapping. I don't know what happened, but it never came up.
Well, you saw right there, it was a good shot. The ball slipped off the tee. He didn't have it on the tee.
Didn't put it on the tee.
And it was moving when he actually kicked the football.
I thought the snap was all right. It looked like Terry had it in his hands, but never did have control of it and missed the tee for the placement.
Well, it was a little bit low, and Andrzejczyk pulled his hands away. It was one of those old deals where you let go of the ball.
I'm not sure, though, if I were the starting quarterback, that I'd want to be out there holding.
Watch this again. The snap was a little bit low. He has to catch the ball downward. See, he knocks it down. Now watch him. Hey, the ball falls before he kicks it.
He turned it loose.
That's right.
All right, Michigan working on it with Taylor. Taylor, that play, very same play, was the one that was picked off a while ago. This time it works to Derek Walker, and there are penalty flags on the field. Got some defensive holding, apparently, if I can read lips. This will go down as the worst Michigan loss since 1984 when Iowa beat them 26-0.
Well, it's a new era.
It's the worst home loss since 1967. Michigan State did that.
And by a new era, I mean...
We have defensive holding before the pass was thrown on the defense, automatic first down.
Okay.
And that puts the ball at the 22. And we've just moved inside 2 minutes to play in the ball game. Jamie Morris out to the 26.
Schembechler is the winningest active coach among Division 1A schools, Keith, but this is a new era. Jim Harbaugh is gone. He did not have a veteran backup that played that much. The one that was in line for it, Chris Zerberg, quit the squad a few weeks ago, I think, when he thought that these two young players were moving ahead of him in the depth chart.
Michael Taylor shoots one down the middle to Colasar. Good at the 44-yard line. Jamie Morris, incidentally, 19 carries for 128 yards. Todd Barry, our spotter today. Stats by Dave Burnson. Good job, guys.
Tackle by Wright.
So it's first down, Michigan, minute and 35, and the clock counting. Taylor throwing again. Again goes underneath, throws to the tight end, Derek Walker. And Walker called down right about the first down marker, close to it. See if they want to move the chains on it or measure. They call it first down. It's simply, the outcome of the game is academic. Notre Dame has won the football game, there's no question about it. But Taylor now working, trying to win back that starting job, and the pass was thrown well behind, tripped Welburn, who had fallen down. So the timing for both these quarterbacks is just simply not there yet.
Well, Bo knew coming in that he was probably going to have to take some licks. He just hoped that he wouldn't lose a ball game while these two young quarterbacks can mature a little bit. And one of them is going to step forward and be his quarterback and probably lead this team on to a bunch of wins this year.
That ball hit, there's a penalty flag thrown as we had a wrestling match, but the ball actually hit Mike Huzar in the back as Taylor was trying to throw a sideline pattern short. And I think Mike might get called for a little holding here. I don't know. One of them was holding because they both go down in a heap.
Can't see any holding yet. I think what happens is he throws
illegal touching
to an offensive lineman.
Lost it down on the offense.
That's a tough call on Huzar. They called him for illegal touching when the quarterback threw it into his back. I said, wait a minute, coach, I didn't try to catch it. I was just too tall.
That's got to be, they ought to be restated and call it a penalty on the quarterback for doing that. Doesn't help anybody, does it? On third down, Taylor drops again. Again throws it underneath. Threw a bad pass. Threw it behind the tight end, Jeff Brown. If he puts it up in front of him, Brown's got a lot of room. But
he's sloppy. It's, you know, the end of the ball game. But he's got an opportunity to move in and show Schembechler what he can do. And he's not following through. His concentration's not there.
Tell you one thing, it looks to me that pass, Bob, he just lobbed. He didn't throw it.
Yeah,
he didn't zip it at all.
He didn't zip it at all, is right.
Remembering, sure every pass receiver in the world is much happier to have the ball zipped to him than lobbed to him. Here's one to the sidelines. Colasar trying to get outside, and does, down around the 30-yard line for a Michigan first down at 58 seconds to play in the ball game. But as I said, what is going on now is academic. But what is going on now is what Bob Greasy said. It's a chance for young Michael Taylor to restore his posture with the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Down the middle, tight end. Good pass, good catch inside the 10-yard line, and first and goal for the Wolverines.
Now, there is something to be said about playing in a situation like this where you're just mopping up or starting the game such as Demetrius Brown did. It's a little bit different. Taylor has no pressure on him, just mopping up here, and Brown had a lot of it at the beginning of the ball game.
Derek Walker, made that grab for Michigan, and they've got it first down at the Irish 7. That's a bad pass. Penalty flag thrown, though, as the tight end, the intended receiver, Walker, was knocked down. He was shielded away from following any normalcy in his progress downfield. and the pass was thrown well wide of him. And Todd Light, the free safety, gets flagged for Notre Dame.
3-yarder.
Look at Schembechler on the sideline as we take a look at Lou Holtz. But Schembechler, you know, in his 18 years, he's won 8 or more games every year except
We have
one.
defensive interference in the field of play, spot foul, automatic first down.
Well, they called it on Light, number 1.
First down and goal at the 1. Taylor dropped the ball. Scramble for it, and I think Notre Dame's got it. They do. That's a rep. Michael Taylor with a chance to put it in the end zone, dropped it coming off the snap, and the Michigan Wolverines will finish the day with 7 turnovers.
Well, that's the story of this game, other than that man right there, Lou Holtz. Called an outstanding game, played it conservative when he needed to, allowed Schembechler's quarterbacks, the new quarterbacks that he's breaking in, to make some mistakes. He got the ball in his hands, just dropped it. When you're down there as a young quarterback, you're looking at a lot of people moving around, you're thinking what you're going to do. But they'll learn from these situations, and they'll be back.
The 7 turnovers led to 19, directly to 19 Notre Dame points, and Steve Bellis now is in at quarterback for the Irish. Notre Dame scored first, 44-yard field goal, led 3-0. And Brown caught a pass in the corner of the end zone to make it 10-0 from Andrzejczyk. That's where we were at halftime. Third quarter, Banks ran it in from a yard, 17-0. McMurtry then caught a pass from Demetrius Brown for a touchdown to make it 17-7. Waddle added a 38-yard field goal, and Waters ran it in from 18 yards. And that's where we are. With 26 seconds, 25, and the clock running, it is Notre Dame 26 and Michigan 7, and I don't think they're going to have to snap the ball anymore. So last year, Lou Holtz almost stole one when nobody thought he had a real chance at doing it. Wound up losing by a point, wound up losing 5 games closely. But he opens the season with a very strong, very solid 26-7 win over a pretty good Michigan football team that will still be one of their prime contenders in the Big Ten Conference. So in Lou Holtz's time at Notre Dame, this will go down as one of the big ones for him. 26-7, the Irish. Stay tuned now for the college football scoreboard coming up next. This ABC Sports Exclusive brought to you by the 2 new automobile divisions of American Honda, who invite you to see the new exciting lines of Honda and Acura automobiles today. By Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. By Allstate for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Tandy Computer, there is no better value. And remember, Monday night, starting at 8:30 with a pre-game show, the matchup of the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. And next Saturday, ABC's college football continues with the Boston College Eagles and the Southern California Trojans from Los Angeles. First meeting ever for those two. That's 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Aerial camera facilities provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And this has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. Your final score.